eschatology. We have Albert Schweitzer with his study of 19th century lives of Jesus. We have von Remus Reed, The Quest for the Historical Jesus. This epoch-making work reviewed the gospel research of more than 100 years. It was a massive work by Schweitzer. Schweitzer emphasized quite a bit about eschatology. Then we had Realized and Present Eschatology, The Kingdom of God and the Future of Man by Rudolf Otto. And C.H. Dodd developed stuff from like the Parables of the Kingdom, 1935, British scholar. This realized eschatology, says F.F. Bruce's perspective, was preserved in some New Testament writers, notably in the later Pauline letters. The solid contribution of Dodd's realized eschatology to New Testament exegesis has been its emphasis on the ministry of Jesus. History of Religion School then developed looked at religious presuppositions, said F.F. Bruce, of primitive Christianity in the contemporary Near Eastern and Grecian Roman context. Then we looked at Acts and incipient Catholicism, and there were scholars like Fawkes, Jackson, Cursor, Blake, etc. Martin Diblius, Hans Konzelmann were some of the scholars at that time. The New Hermeneutic, F.F. Bruce writes, the New Hermeneutic represents a modern endeavor to make the message of the New Testament intelligible and relevant to contemporary man. It is closely related to Rudolf Bultmann's constant affirmation, says F. Bruce, that this message is concerned with human existence and that it is with human existence that contemporary man is essentially concerned. End of quote. Gospel criticism. By the 20th century, synoptic gospels were at the heart of the discussion. B.E. Streeter propounded a four-source hypothesis of the gospels in 1924, and by Wilhelm Bussmann, whose book 1929 distinguished two sources of key material, etc. We can go on in depth there. The New Quest for the Historical Jesus, J.M. Robertson, A New Quest for the Historical Jesus, 1959, is plainly meant to echo a title of Albert Schweitzer's great work. Other scholars, Ernest Kaisman threw the gauntlet down against Rudolf Bultmann about the importance of this quest. And that's just a brief synopsis of some of the history of New Testament scholarship on New Testament studies. From the Apostolic Fathers to, you had two schools. You had the Origin kind of allegory school, that we understand the New Testament from allegory. We had the Antioch school that said, no, we understand from the historical grammatical method. We had the development of the majestic St. Augustine and expound the Bible, and he had a massive influence. I'm just concluding in my own words. Then we had the Middle Ages with the great commentaries of Aquinas and others who compiled some of the early church fathers together. We had then in the great early Reformation, we have Wycliffe and Tyndale developing textual criticism, developing translation, and then we had the great exegesis of Calvin and Luther and some of the other great massive reformers there. We had, I think F.F. Bruce has left out a lot of the Puritan scholars that could have been mentioned, like John Owen, who were massive exegetes of the New Testament. One of the